And welcome back to the Constitution Line by Line. I'm Paul Fabrizio.
I'm Don Frazier, and we are now in Article 6, Clause 3. We are getting very close to the end of the original Constitution.
In fact, this is the second to the last clause.
So, if you're a very strict constructionist, you can quit listening after the next two episodes because all those amendments are just so much noise and blather. But
don't do that.
Don't do that because what follows is pretty doggone important.
You better believe it. But right now, we're in Article 6, Clause 3, an oath of allegiance.
Interesting, because this comes in to play during the American Civil War.
Here we go. The senators and representatives before mentioned, and the members of the several state legislatures, and all executive and judicial officers, both of the United States and of the several states, shall be bound by oath or affirmation to support this Constitution, but no religious test shall ever be required as a qualification to any office or public trust under the United States.
Oh, wow, this one is loaded up.
Yes, there is.
So every officer in the United States Army takes an oath to protect and defend the Constitution of the United States. That's part of their commissioning.
I was an employee of the government, a temporary employee, when I worked for the Census Bureau in 1990. I was the assistant manager in West Baltimore.
Oh, wow. Lucky you.
And so I took that same oath.
Did you really?
And
same one as a second lieutenant?
You better believe
or a State Department official?
Or the Vice President of the United States.
Wow.
There are two oaths that are given to government employees. One for the President, and we've talked about that earlier, and then another one that everybody else takes.
But nowhere in there does it say into the Bishop of Washington or the Emir of Detroit.
Right. Very good. So, if you're going to work for the government, the federal government, you have to take this oath. And, by the way, it's both of the United States and the several states. So you take an oath, if you're an employee of a state government, to the United States.
Wow, to the Constitution of the United States.
To the Constitution of the United States. And by the way, this is an important point. You take the oath to the Constitution. You don't take it to a person. You take it to protect and preserve and defend the Constitution.
Not the president, not the country, but the Constitution.
The Constitution. Words on a piece of paper.
That's a pretty strong document.
It sure is.
That has all of a sudden been given almost supernatural dimensions.
Yeah, the framers, sometimes they seem very humble, and then sometimes like this, that's a pretty demanding thing they're saying. They're saying this document is what's important. It's not the land, it's not the people, it's this document.
Well, and during the American Civil War, they had various oaths that you had to take to the United States, oath of allegiance. And so this then kind of trickles down to where common citizens ended up having taken an oath to the United States.
In the North?
Well, not in the North, but in the South, where, say the Union Army came through and somebody comes out there and hugs the colonel saying, man, am I glad you guys are here. All this secession stuff was just a military coup. It was not the will of the people. It was not the Vox Populi. It was just a bunch of soreheads. And am I glad? I want to kiss the flag. Well, not only should you kiss the flag, but we have a few words we would like to administer to you while you have your right hand in the air as well, just so they could figure out who the sheep and the goats were as they're passing through.
Were there people who didn't take that oath?
Absolutely, which then authorized the United States Army to seize their property in the First and Second Confiscation Acts.
Okay.
Now, there you go.
It was a Civil War.
It was a Civil War, so you're either with us or we're going to take your cattle and your house and steamboat.
It's not like eminent domain where you get a reasonable return.
No.
No, it's just we're going to seize it.
We're just going to seize it. It's the forfeit to the Republic.
Wow. There's a harshness to all this, isn't there?
There is. I mean, now we're starting to get into the steel gutters.
Mm-hmm.
And, you're just going to have to play by these rules if you're going to be here.
Yeah.
And if you don't want to play by these rules, don't be here.
This is a side of the United States we don't talk about much.
No. No, we're supposed to be very encompassing and kumbaya and, loving people. And that's great. That's one of the things that makes our country great. But there is a limit. There is a hard edge. Because this isn't a commune.
Right.
This is a country.
Yeah, and you swear to it.
And you swear to it. But you don't swear by God.
You swear by the Constitution.
You swear by the Constitution. So you don't, there is no religious sort of component to this.
Right.
Now, your secular religion is this Constitution, and that's your holy scripture. And you're swearing to it. Interesting.
Yeah. Yeah. And by the way, the last part of it, no religious test shall ever be required as a qualification to any office or public trust. That was a reaction to
Church of England.
The Church of England, but also various states had their own, what's the right word, majority religions.
Sure.
Pennsylvania, the Quakers, that sort of thing, where, if you wanted to succeed in those places, you
need
needed
to be a
member.
Congregationalist in Massachusetts.
You need to be a member of, in essence, the state religion. And, this will be developed further with freedom of religion in the First Amendment.
Correct.
But right here, you cannot be required to be a member of a specific church.
We just don't care.
Yeah. Is it we don't care? Or we care a lot, but we care about this religion, we care about that religion, we can't choose.
Yeah, we care about all of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's just not the test.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah. Okay.
But that's different than separation of church and state, which we'll unpack later.
That'll come later.
All right, so that line
that concludes Article 6.
Is the last line in Article 6.
Yeah, and the next one is basically in existence. We'll get to that in a second. It's just a historical curiosity. This really ends the meat of the Constitution. This really, in the end, we now know what our government is going to do, what the boundaries of our government is. And we just concluded with the Supremacy Clause and now this oath of allegiance to this document.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
strong way to end if I was writing this.
Really is. They said, this is how we're going to end it. And we're going to end it on a really high and powerful national note.
Correct.
So, all you states out there, we're in charge.
We're in charge, and you're going to swear to it.
Yeah.
All right, so that's our line. We're coming up with the last line of the original Constitution next time.